Good morning, everybody. It's a rainy, windy day today, and so it's a good day to take time to worm my horses. I have taken some manure samples, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Brenda is out brushing the animals, so she's getting the colts all brushed.
Horses. I'm brushing horses.
Well, yeah, she brushed them all. So as soon as she's done here, I'll talk a little bit about worming. So today I want to talk about worming. I did one other video on worming, but I want to hit a few different things I didn't talk about before. And also I want to talk about how my horses lay down the stalls and straight stalls in general. But let's just do the worming first. So what I like to do, and I didn't used to do it this way, but I've always known it's the best way to do it. And so for the last few years I've done it. I've actually got manure samples before I've wormed them. So since we have a vet right down the road, which is really handy, I want to just explain how I go about doing this. Every horse needs to have their manure sample, and my vet had told me that you want it as fresh as possible. So over the course of a day, I'll quite often just leave them in if I want to get it done one day, and I'll just come out here periodically a lot, and so I can potentially catch some when they pass the manure, or at least some warm manure behind them. And I'm not going to show you how I normally do it because Brenda gets mad, but I would just normally grab my hand and stuff them in the bag. But most people don't want to do that, so I've got just a simple sandwich bag, and if you just turn it inside out like this. Now Buck a few minutes ago had fresh manure, and I should have, oh yeah, perfect. So this is what we're looking for, fresh manure. So I've already done this, and I've already got the samples results back, but I just want to show you how to do it. So I take the sandwich bag, just turn it inside out. It's very easy just to grab a little bit, and this is obvious how I should do it all the time anyways. And so I usually just take a clump of manure about that big. Now I'll get all the horses done, and I put this in the refrigerator. I know it sounds awful, and I know Brenda's not too keen on me putting the manure in the refrigerator.
I put it in something else and hope it's not going to be too long.
So, and it's not usually too long generally. So I get all 6 samples, and then I take it down to Petra, and I'm not sure what she does with it. I don't know if she sends this much manure, but this is what I send her, and then she goes from there. So I did that a week or so ago, and she's got back the results. I wish I had all the different worms that they've got on a paper so I could explain to them, but I don't. But I do want to explain a couple things. We knew that in the spring, Bill was heavily infested with worms, few different kinds, I believe, and he came back heavily infested than others. Another one that came back that was heavily infested, which really surprised me, was Ken. I mean, Ken is such a big, filled-out horse. You generally think of a horse with worms to be a little bit on the thin side, or harder to keep. He is just the opposite. So just because a horse is fleshy like Ken doesn't mean he doesn't have worms. And I have had issues with him with colic. So because he's got worms, all the more reason I really need to deal with that so he doesn't get colic. But you just wouldn't expect it out of a horse like this. Buck was pretty good. The worm level wasn't very high on him. But in here with the colts, this was also another surprise. Earl had not too many worms, but Duke had quite a few worms. Now there again, he's such a fleshy horse, so filled out, and doing so nice, you just wouldn't expect him to have any worms at all, but he does. We'll have to deal with that. And like I said, I wish I had wrote down what she said as far as the type of worms that they have, but I didn't. But let me show you the wormer that I'm going to use, and this is a wormer that she got from me, which was based on the worms that they have. So this is what it is. I'm assuming you can see that. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't even read it. So I'm not sure what it is for.
It's ivermectin and Prezaquin.
Okay, right here. For the treatment of tapeworms, small and large how do you say that word?
Strangles.
Roundworms. I know she said some had roundworms. And then there's, well, you can read the list.
Spots, pinworms, largemouth stomach worms, lungworms, summer sores, intestinal threadworms, and hairworms in horses.
Okay, this worm also is apple flavored, which is really nice when you use this on your horses. That bit of a flavored wormer helps a lot. When you've got your horse, you're going to worm them. It says right on here what the dosage is, and most of these are like 1,250 pounds. No, this one's 1320. That's unusual. It seems like almost all of them are 1250. So anyways, you take this 1350, so you figure it out per horse. Now my colts are weighing, last time we weighed them 1,100 pounds, a little bit more,
something.
between 11 and 12. So I will give each of them a full dose. It's okay, in my opinion, I'm quite sure Petra had said it's fine too, to overdose them a little bit. In the process of worming them, they spit some of it out. You don't get every little bit. So that's another thing you got to think about, that it doesn't hurt to overworm them a little bit because they will waste a little bit at times. Okay, let me just take a horse. I don't care who we use. Well, we can use the colts. And I'll explain how I do it. Has several people have their different ways of doing it, and you just have to, if you've got horses and you want to do this, you just have to work out something that works for you and works for that particular horse, because every horse is a little different. Some are be scared of it, some won't. You know, it's all different. So let's just throw this one into one of the colts, and then we'll talk about something else.
Have they been wormed before?
Yes, they've been wormed. I think we actually hit them a couple times in the spring because they were heavily infested with worms when I bought them. But now they're better, but Duke still has a fair amount. So what I do is I back the horse out and try to make sure they don't have any hay in their mouth. If they do, I go to the side of their mouth, and I'll actually, this is the only safe place you can go in the mouth, right kind of the side there, because there's no teeth. Now just make sure there's no hay, and he's pretty clean of hay. Now some horses, they will go freak out a little bit, and so I'm going to actually unhitch him. So if he backs up, he can back up, and he's not going to be pulling on that rope. Get away, Duke. Okay, so these worming things have a thing on here, I don't know what you call that, but you turn it to adjust.
It's for dosage.
For dosage. Now we want to give him the full tube, so I'm going to keep it wide open. And so what I normally do, I kind of go around him, and let me do it on this side. And I stick it through his mouth, the same place I put my fingers. So I just stick this through, and I try and do it really fast. So I shove it into his mouth and squeeze it pretty fast and kind of hold his head up at the same time.
Cap. Do you have a cap in there?
Take it off. And I usually hold that in for just a few minutes with his head up and kind of slowly bring it out, because they at times want to spit it right out and they'll lose the wormer. But that went pretty good. He's got a little bit of wormer right there, and then the tube itself is clean. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll wait to water them, and then I will take them right out at this time and water them. But I just barely watered them, so I won't do that.
Well, they can't really spit it out, right?
No,
it's
a paste, and it goes in there.
Hopefully they don't. He doesn't. I don't know if he minds it or not. He doesn't seem to.
Well, like I said, that apple flavored helps a lot.
Helps.
So now I'll go through and do them all.
We'll try to talk the horses into thinking these are treats. Who wants their treat today?
So I'll go up and do Lady. So she weighs, let me think here. She was, let's call her 1,700. So we got 13, what was it, 1350?
Or 20, or 1320.
Or whatever, it's not that crucial.
So two of those would be good.
13.
No.
So I want to shoot for closer to 18. So 13, so another 500. So about half this is what I'm going to go. And then I will go with Bill, and it'll be about the same thing. So I'll have half here and half here. I mean, this full one and a half for Lady, and another full one and this other half for Bill.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Yep. Okay, Lady.
Billy. Hey, Billy. Lady, did you like it? What'd you think?
Okay.
Billy.
Okay, so I'm gonna check his mouth. And this isn't gross, you don't have to do this, but if they've just been away from the hay for a little while, you know that they've pretty clean.
Okay.
So, same thing.
Well, that
There's
surely
one.
is apple flavored. I can smell it from here.
That's why they don't mind it so bad.
Yeah, they don't seem to at all. That's really great. Are you ever worried you're going to lose that syringe in their mouth?
No. Okay.
You're a good boy. Good job. Okay, I'm coming down, Billy. Hi, Kenny.
Ken might freak out more than others.
Shocker.
I think I might not.
Yummy, huh? Really don't seem to mind it. Buck, you waiting for yours?
Good to last drop.
Not bad, huh, Kenny? It's not a big deal.
Okay, one to go. Okay, see how Duke does. And Duke is the one that had a lot of worms, so I'm really hoping he gets his full dosage. And he did. I don't think he lost a drop, which is great. Come
It's
here.
really nice stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about the worming. And I want to talk about stalls and horses laying down. I've had a lot of comments. Some people are just wondering if the horses lay down. Some people are complaining, oh, the horses can't lay down. Or the horses don't like these stalls, and why don't you have box stalls? I would love to have one box stall, but I probably wouldn't use it much. My horses are so used to these straight stalls, and they like these straight stalls. Now my stalls are in pretty rough shape, and I've got a lot of the lumber already sawed out for brand new stalls, and I've got a lot of logs here to saw out for the rest of the stalls. It's just getting the time to do it, and I might be doing it this fall. I'm torn between getting this job done and a couple log jobs that I want to do before snow gets too heavy. And this is not a job that will be that fun of a job to do in the middle of winter time, because if I don't do it really fast, they're not going to have stalls to come into at night. But anyways, let's get back onto the stalls. So I would even suggest if you have horses and if you don't use them, a box stall is a better way to go. If you were to bring horses into a straight stall and leave them here, for 2 or 3 days, you're taking a big risk of having a lot of issues. They'll get black water, which is called Monday morning sickness, and I'm sure there's other names for it. And what that is a horse will stand in his stall and he'll tie up, his muscles will tie up in such a way, and it's quite a serious problem. So that's one reason why people think straight stalls are so bad. Another reason why they think it's so bad is they can actually get hung up in their stalls, like cast. They call it a cast. I never call it that, but I've heard people call it that. But they do get down in the stalls. And I've had horses, especially with my pulling shoes that I've had horses before take their hind leg and come up and scratch their head, and then they actually get the rope in between the shoe and the hoof. And they go down in a mess, and it's bad. There's no doubt it is bad. And I've come out in the morning. I haven't had it happen for years, but it tends to be a certain horse that does that, and he does it more than once. And you come out and he's in a heap in the stall, and you got to get in there and you got to cut the rope, and it's a real pain. So that's probably the biggest issue with a straight stall that I've ever had. But I still think it's a rarity, and I still prefer the straight stalls. And I know that these horses like these straight stalls just fine. When they're outside, they want to come out. Like on a hot day, for example, they would rather stand in here. And they're used to it, so it's just not an issue to them. I've had people comment, well, they can't lay down. Well, I assure you they can lay down, and you can ask Brenda. She's been doing a lot of the brushing lately.
They all laid down last night. I could tell because they have sawdust up high and just it's encrusted in such a way you could tell they were laying down. It's on one side. Yep. So they've been laying down.
And I've never, in the past, I don't remember when I actually came in here and caught them laying down. Most horses generally sleep standing up. So a lot of times the horse won't lay down at night. Some horses, like Ken, for example, he lays down every night. He's just always laying down. But there again, I haven't caught him laying down for many years. An older horse, like I said, very seldom lays down. If he does, it's just for a very short period of time. In the wild, I know that what happens is when you have a herd of horses, you have some horses laying down, but you always have several horses, at least one horse standing up, actually to be on guard, to watch, to make sure nothing's going to cause trouble, and they would alert the rest of the herd to get up and get out of there. So it just, but generally older horses just do not lay down as much. Now, I want to show you something though, just to prove to you that horses lay down in their stalls. A couple days ago, I came out here and both of the colts were laying down. So I've got a short clip of that I want to show you right now. Morning, guys. Gonna get up. Breakfast time. On your feet. On your feet, Duke. Hi, Duke. On your feet. Hey. Well, lay there. I'll go feed the other ones. Now, I know I could get a ton of different people's opinion on stalls and what they think. And I think it's great. I think, by all means, put it in the comments below what your thoughts are on stalls. And I'm not trying to promote straight stalls at all. Like I said, if you have horses or just a weekend warrior type of thing and your horses are hardly ever worked, they're better off in a box stall. But mine get worked almost every day, and if they don't get worked, they generally go out every day. So it's just all the more reason why I feel these stalls are the best for my situation. Keep in mind as I go through my videos, I'm no expert. I don't claim to do it the right way every time, but I am just trying to show you what I do with my horses and how I approach things with them. Brenda is willing to go open the gate.
Come on, guys.
And off they go into the one barnyard, or into the, we call it the slabwood pasture.
Lady.
I used to pile slabwood out there. So now, Brenda, close the gate, please.
Oh, yeah.
So now Brenda will close that gate. And I'm going to let Buck and Ken out, and the colts out together in the barnyard. They won't get any grass, but they'll get some exercise. It's a rainy day. That's all they're going to be doing today. And I bet you'll find in a very short period of time, they'll be standing right at this door wanting to come back in. But I won't let them in till at least mid-afternoon. Even though it's wet and rainy, they need to get their exercise. As you see, I'm taking the halters off everybody. In my opinion, it's very important to do that, not let them go out with halters on. Yeah, Spot, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. So now I'll get the colts, kick them out. Come here. I would normally put a little bit of hay in the barnyard, but since of the extra stuff we did here this morning, they've been in the barn for quite a while, so they really don't need any hay, they just need exercise. So that's all we're gonna do today.
Kenny.
Yes, but
Being mean.
these guys get along fine. They've been getting together, although Ken is biting a little bit, but that's okay.
Usually Buck and the kids hang out together, Grandpa and the kids, but Ken in the mix, he's a little boss hog.
Colt's gonna try and come in now. See you guys, have a good day.
Bye, have a good one. They don't want to be out in the rain.
Okay, so that's it for our video for today. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Bye, have a great day.